Hello crafty friends, welcome back to my channel and my craft table. So glad that you're here today. In today's video, I'm going to be working on a variety of crafts for my classroom. Now, a lot of these crafts you might find are helpful for a different space, such as your kitchen, maybe a home office, or some other space where they might serve you best. So go ahead and grab your favorite beverage, settle in and get comfy, and I'll meet you down at the craft table. All right, in this first craft, I am going to be sprucing up a plain Jane, not very pleasing to look at lesson planner. Now, I'm pretty old school, and I do like to jot out my thoughts initially before I, put things in my electronic records. A lot of times I'll be sitting and I just need a place to jot things down and kind of sketch things out as far as like a little sequence of events and tasks, etc. Also, we have a lot of meetings, and sometimes I just really need a place to record information from those meetings. I could probably take a laptop with me, but to be honest, this is really the best way, just old-fashioned paper and pencil, because I can jot out some planning ideas as well as record things almost like a journal for the year, but I don't like it. It's ugly. So I'm going to be using this Tech Wrap shimmer vinyl, and then I made myself a little monogram, and we're just going to spruce that up a little bit. So what I've done is I've already sized it to this space right here, and I just tried to make sure that the side to side white borders were pretty even. I'm not worried about the top and bottom. And I'm just going to pull off about 1 inch of the carrier sheet, and I'm going to basically put it right up here in this corner. And while I'm thinking about that, I'm wondering if I can use this little guy. I can definitely get it, well, pretty close. Maybe I don't want to do that. I was thinking I could use it to help line everything up, but I'm just going to take this corner and place it in this corner, and I'm going to try and make sure that along the top that it matches with this blue box, because if it matches with the blue box all the way across, then going down it should work. And then I have a ruler here. I'm going to turn this over just like it was transfer tape, and I'm going to be pulling on this at the same time that I'm moving my ruler to the left. So with any luck, I will have lined this up and it'll work perfectly. That's what my hope is. I'm just kind of checking. It looks like it's still following the blue box right there. And I kind of wish I had my little metal ruler, but this is actually working pretty well. I just have to hold this down because it wants to move. So I'm going to hold that down, and I'm just going to take my ruler, and I think it is still going well. I can see a microscopic view of that blue box, but I'm not really going to worry about it. Okay, so I got it set along the top perfectly, but then right over here, you can see that little blue box. Now I could, if I really wanted to, if this bothered me, I could come in with a gel pen like I use in my card making, and I could just go along this blue line and I could cover that right up, and I don't think anybody would know, because nobody is going to be taking my little lesson plan journal here and going over it with a fine-tooth comb. So this actually might work out. I'm just putting a light bead of white gel pen along this little edge here. It's actually working quite well. And I'm going to start it up here at the top where it kind of started the whole thing. So in hindsight, maybe I should have gone. Okay, I'm just using that to kind of warm all that up. Let's get that down. I have learned with a gel pen that the more pressure you exert on the pen, the less gel you're going to get. That it has a special roller ball, you know, like a ballpoint pen, but it's very picky. So if you use too much pressure, the ball doesn't roll and the gel does not come out. So this is working very well. In hindsight, I wish I had gone this way instead of this way, but that's okay. This is real life crafting. That's what makes crafting fun and adventurous, because you never know how things are going to turn out. Okay, so if you have some sort of planner or something that you purchased and you do not like the front, then I encourage you to do something like this. Take some patterned vinyl or take, you know, your favorite color or whatever, and just use it to cover the front. All right, so now here I do need a little bit of transfer tape. Okay. This is some pattern paper that I have in my stash. I've got about one sheet left. It is quite old, and I don't think it even can be purchased anymore. But if you have vinyl like that, where it's really pretty pattern paper or whatnot, I encourage you to find ways to use up the pattern paper. Okay. I was going to do the entire thing in that pattern, but then I thought, I don't know if I want to look at that all day. I always have the hardest time getting these corners started, so if you have some suggestions, feel free to let me know. Okay, I'm just going to take this, place it over my monogram, kind of bend it a little bit, almost like a little taco or a hammock, and I'm just going to lay that down, press it out to the sides, and I'm just using my fingers. I'm not going to worry about a hard burnish with my little scraper tool. I'll use that for some of the other crafts we have today. Okay, so there we go. That looks fantastic. Now I do want to bring in this right here. And I'm wanting to know if I want it that far up or if I want something a little. So this is what it would look like if I put it there. And I do think that is a little too far up. So now I'm going to bring in my T-square and I'm going to put it down here toward the bottom. And I think that looks so much better. And the best part is the 1/2 inch is here and the 1 inch is here. So I literally can just line up the monogram with that 1 inch line, and I can just set this down right there, pull this out, push this down, and again, just kind of a light burnish over the monogram. Let me move all that out of the way. And then we'll go ahead and carefully pull up this. So layering vinyl on top of vinyl. Okay. And you can actually do HTV as well. I just don't happen to have any. So in this pattern. So that's why I'm just using up what is in my stash. Okay, so I'm going to place the transfer tape back on the carrier sheet because I'll need it for some more of the crafts today. And this is now a much prettier version of this lesson planner book. So there we go. And then over here, you can't see that little blue line where I was microscopically off. All you see is this, and that looks so much better. So, all right, this is craft number 1, and I think this came out really good. Okay, so for craft number 2, I have a few of these chalkboard easels. Believe this one came from Michael's. Yes, this one came from Michael's, and these two are from the Dollar Tree. And in fact, I actually need to go back to the Dollar Tree and get some more of these. But I am going to be using these. I have 3 different subjects that I teach. And the issue is I often have a little table coming in and I have papers for students to pick up. So I need some kind of sign where like it's only for this particular class, right? And that is going to be perfect. I can also use these at back to school night. So I can have all 3 of my syllabi out at one time. And I can have one of these little signs just right there so that the parents and students know who the syllabus is for exactly. Let me grab my scraper tool here. Okay, just give that a burnish. And that way I don't have someone in algebra picking up a geometry syllabus and, vice versa. And then during class, the kids always go, hey, are these papers for us? So this will answer that question. And I was literally asked that last year, so that would make 5 classes a day, 187 days that I was asked, are these papers for us? So I don't know. I would venture to say probably close to 1,000, probably, 850 to 1,000. That is probably how many times I got asked that question. It's kind of funny, really. All right, so this one says, please take one in Algebra 1 only. So it's going to go on there like that. Okay, that worked out well, and I do feel like this is way less sticky than it was a little bit ago. So perhaps I will have better luck here in just a moment. So here we have algebra, and I see a tiny little piece of vinyl that I forgot to weed out. So there we go. I love a good chalkboard with white vinyl because it is so clean and so classic. All right, so we have that one there. Then we're going to move on to our next class. And I'm hoping this time that it'll be so less sticky. So today we're going to have like 20 questions because it's back to school time and I like to learn new things. So let's learn some new things. Okay, so the question number 1, where are you from? And are the school districts already back? So that was question number 1. Question number 2 for the day. This is question 2. So question 2 is, what was your favorite subject in school? And yes, what was your favorite subject in school? That's what I would like to know. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm just putting my T-square ruler right here at the bottom of the chalk front, and I'm going to line up the word only. And I'm trying to get it as centered side to side as possible. And then I'll just place that down, move the ruler, and then press it down. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna see if we have better luck this time, and I'm gonna burnish really good this time. All right, fantastic. So that did much better. Apparently I forgot to get this little bitty piece here out of all of them. Maybe I was getting excited and moving on too quickly. Another thing I just realized is I need to take off this little hanger piece because I will not be hanging them. I just need this to come away. Okay, so we have Algebra 1 and Geometry, and those are high school classes. And Algebra 1 is usually the gatekeeper. In order to graduate, you have to pass Algebra 1 successfully. In some states, you have to not only pass the class, but a state exam as well. Okay. All right, so here is this one. Now, this is kind of set in there, and it is not even. So I'm gonna grab a couple little magnets so that it doesn't rock side to side too much. Right, and then we have this here. This is this is a college class. And this college class is taught on our high school campus. So that is what I will be doing this year. And it is the same class that I teach at the college. So for those of you that have been around for a while and you know I'm at the college in the evening teaching a class and I'm at the high school during the day. This class in particular is the same class that I teach at the actual college campus. But this particular class period, I will be teaching it on the high school campus as well. Whoop. So that's very exciting. When I was in school, and I was one of the, you know, I was just kind of a bookworm, to be honest with you. And I was in band. So I spent a lot of time reading and studying. And as smart as I was, if you weren't labeled as gifted and talented, or for some reason you were in an honors class, pretty much you took regular class periods, which was fine. I did well in high school. I definitely could have done better had I worked a little harder. I could have probably had straight A's, but sometimes I just wanted to be a kid. Okay. Now I need this to not move around. So I'm going to bring these in, and I'm going to bring this up here. And that way, hopefully it doesn't move around anywhere. All right. Now this one, I'm going to have to just eyeball what looks to be center and also level. Like I don't want it like this, right? Oh, you know what I see? I'm so glad I caught this. This E is a little cattywampus. let's see if we can fix that. Or better yet, maybe I'll pull that up and then I'll put it down separately on its own. I don't want to stretch it out, so I'm trying to be very gentle, pulling it away. Ugh. And I'll just stick it right back here. That poor little E. He's a little worse for wear right now, but that's okay. All right, so here we go. We're gonna try that again. Okay, that looks pretty even to me. I don't know that I could get it back up anyway, so we're gonna just commit to that. All right, that, my friends, wow, all three of these, labor of love indeed. But, I mean, worth it, but wow, seriously. So I'm not gonna fret about this E over here too much. Okay. There we go. All right. Oh, goodness. So we have math in the modern society. And what I like about this is on the days that I go to the college class, when I have handouts, I can take this with me, and then I don't have to answer that question there 400 times either, but they'll know automatically. And then as far as my regular class periods, these are good to go. Oh, I love those. It came out so good. Now you could totally put anything you wanted on them. You could put, you know, menu and then have like whatever your daily dinner is. You could put little quotes to yourself. In fact, I may go back and get some more of these and have some of these in strategic places with some inspirational quotes. Pull that sticky off there. All right, good deal. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so for this next one, is that enough? Well, yes, there is, and I can just use one of those extra pieces. So, being in high school, there is always somebody who just doesn't put their name on their paper. So my door is metal, and I thought it would be a great idea to make some magnets that just say no name, and then I could put them, you know, I could put it on the door with the paper. And that way they see it when they see it in class, and they also see it when they walk out of class. Because getting them to remember to check the no name, if I don't have it where it's, you know, right in front of them, they do kind of forget about that. So, and I hate for kids to have something missing. All right, now this is smart vinyl. And I don't use a lot of smart vinyl, so I'm hoping it's just getting it started, because this carrier sheet is really thick and it doesn't like to bend very well because it's meant to act as a mat. So I just got to really get it started. And if I can get it started, then these letters should read pretty good. Okay, here is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna change up the game a little bit. I do not have the time to sit here all day, and I don't want to keep you watching, you know, or waiting on me to get that. And I could fast forward through the video or do time lapse, whatever, but I think what I'm gonna do is just show you a sample of the little items I'm working on here. And then I can do the rest off camera, because otherwise I'll be here all day and I don't really have time for all day. Okay, and then I have this little E right there, so I'll worry about that in a minute. But here's what we're gonna do. Let me grab my rubbing alcohol. So I made about 10 or 12 of those. That's another reason why I don't want to sit here all day. It's because there's quite a few, and I can just do that, you know, sitting around chatting with the family. But I got these magnets. These are called magnetic labels. They're dry erase, write on and wipe off. They have 10 different colors, and there's 30 of them in here. Now, I've used a couple of them, but what I thought I would do this year is pull them out and use them to, like, for instance, the no names. So then these can, you know, they'll go on the door at school, and they'll have the paper underneath it, and then the student can see, oh, hey, that's my paper, and that kind of thing. All right, now these are kind of be a little cattywampus. Lovely. Now I'm gonna get that little E, and we'll put that down here on the end. Man, that is just crazy. It's so stiff. There we go. All right, and then we're gonna put this here. There we go. Ooh. Okay, my friends, so another time off camera, I will be finishing up the rest of those, and it'll say no name. That'll be for the door. All right, then I'll just take this piece of transfer tape and put that there. So the other thing is I made 10 groups. I have whiteboards. I wrote a grant, and I have whiteboards all around my room, and I have the kids go up to the whiteboards and they work in their little groups and etc. And they are magnetic, so I thought it would be neat to have these little group numbers, and that way if I need to switch up groups I can. But anyway, these can go onto the little whiteboards that are around the room, and I can just say, hey, you guys are at group 1, etc., or 4, or whatever the number is. Okay, that was definitely better. If you happen to know, please share, because whew, that's gonna take me forever. And I definitely don't wanna have that. Okay, I'm just wiping off the front with rubbing alcohol. And then we're gonna get this on there, centered as best I can. Lovely. That That's great. Okay, so I will have a little homework assignment. I will have to do all of my no-name magnets and all of my group magnets, and that'll be okay. I'm all right with that. So I think that is good for now, and then I don't have to worry with working through all of those. All right, on to the next one. Now, so far we've had where are you from and are the districts open? And then we had what was your favorite subject? So the question now would be, what was your favorite non-academic activity in school? So like maybe you were in band, maybe you were in art, something like that. I would like to know that. That would be great. And I know some of you may not answer any of the questions, and some of you may answer every single one, and some might answer some. That's okay. I just like to get to know you guys. All right, this is one of those triple wall hanging decor items from the Dollar Tree. So what I did is to the best of my ability, I tried to take the original artwork sticker off. I just really had a hard time with that. So what I did is I took regular white vinyl and I put it on top. So this is not paint. This is actually vinyl. So I just put it on top, covered it up pretty good. Now my classroom is kind of Harry Potter themed. And so that's what these are. These are just little symbols from Harry Potter. And what I thought would be fun, now this one was a labor of love, so I did do that off camera, and I already have the transfer tape on top because I did not want to have to do that with you here, because that would not have been fun. But anyway, this is just gonna go, I've got, a few little blank spaces here and there that could use a little something. So I pulled this out of my stash. I have several of them, and they're very inexpensive. And you can just put whatever you want on them. So that's always a good thing. And then I have this little bitty dot here. That needs to go right back there. Okay, all right. Let me get 2 of these so that it just stays up away from the wood beads and it's a lot more level. And then I'm going to cut away this transfer tape that, too much transfer tape when I'm using the paper transfer tape is a little difficult to work with. Okay. All right, so now I'm just gonna get this on here, and I could use a parchment paper method, but I don't really, I think I'm actually out of parchment paper, so. There we go. Look at that. Fantastic. Okay, Hogwarts understood the assignment. There we go. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. I'm just going to move that up, and I think that transfer tape is done. I'm going to grab another little piece of transfer tape. So much transfer tape in my craft room that really needs to get used up, kind of like my vinyl. It's, you know, been here for a good while. And I think, you know, eventually that stuff is, you know, not going to be as pliable and sticky and all that as it was when it was first made. So I want to get all this transfer tape used up. Okay. And that one just comes away. All right, the Deathly Hallows symbol. And our last one. Wonderful. So if you are a Harry Potter fan, are you going to be watching the new series that comes out on HBO? I think it's coming around Christmas time. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, and then, y'all, did you hear there's going to be I think there's going to be a Gilmore Girls documentary. I am super excited about that. So anyway, my daughter and I thought it would be fun to have like a little Harry Potter movie festival where we watch all of them, and also Twilight in the fall. Okay, so this is going to go on the wall. I've got like a little spot where this is going to go on the wall, and so fun and easy. You could put anything on here. You could put initials, you could put seasonal things. You could put Bible verses, like really whatever you want to put on there. So, oh, I love that. That turned out well. Okay, so I'm down to my last two. This is a banner from Hobby Lobby, you know, a hanging banner. And I've had this, gosh, I've had this in my stash forever too. But I saw a sign on Amazon and it was so neat. So again, another Harry Potter thing, but it's kind of funny because it was like, wizards welcome and muggles tolerated. And what's even funnier is some of the students that don't, I'm just recentering this, you would look at them and say, oh, they probably would never read Harry Potter. Yeah, they actually like it. I get a lot of compliments from the students. So that's kind of partly why I have my room like that, because they tend to appreciate that more than all the other things that I've tried over the years. Okay, so I'm just using the Easy Press Mini, the light version. I'm still getting used to it because it doesn't have all the buttons. You just plug it in and it goes. And that's a little weird to me. Okay. I think that's coming away from the carrier sheet, working its way down into those fibers there. Okay. And then, okay. Ooh, that is hot. Hot, hot, hot. This carrier sheet is very bubbly. Okay, so it looks like there's two little spots where, you know, I don't know if I moved something, or maybe when this started to bubble up. Again, I don't think the kids are really gonna notice, and I don't know that I can smooth it out. I think that's kind of I'm just using the tip to try and do that, but I don't think it's gonna work. Okay. Okay, I stand corrected. So this spot right here, that part of the Z, and this spot right here, they were all like crumpled up on top of themselves. And I just used the corner, and there we go. So this will be hanging in another little spot I have in my room. And hopefully the kids will get a good kick out of that. I may come back through and kind of iron this down. It's a little, maybe I did it for too long. Just kind of, I'm not even going very hard. I just kind of want to put it right back down on itself. Make it flat again. So note to self, this banner must have a lot more plasticky or nylon. I don't know. I just know it did not like being ironed on. Or maybe I just did it too long. Okay, I think that's better. It's definitely not as, it's definitely flatter for sure. So, all right. Well, that came out really good. And again, I was inspired by a sign that I saw on Amazon, and I thought, I have stuff and I can make that. So, fantastic. All right, and then my last craft of the day is this. And again, for the second time this week, I have decided to do an iron-on craft without having my lint roller. So I'm just gonna use all this sticky carrier sheet and transfer tape as a makeshift lint roller. It's in the other room, and I just keep forgetting to bring it in here. Okay. Perfect. That definitely got lint off, so that's fantastic. Okay, so on this one, I have some HTV. And then I have this DTF transfer. This is from Hobby Lobby. This is from Hobby Lobby. But what I thought would be really cool, okay, is have this down here, like so. And then I could have some of the flowers come up out of the books, like a little bouquet. That was my initial thought. So let me double check how, let's see, from that corner to there, and that corner there. Oh, that's about middle. Okay, so we're gonna see if that, I'm gonna let that cool for a second. So preheat iron on, cotton setting, and turn off steam. Okay, if plastic starts to curl, reduce the heat. Position, image side up. Leave clear sheet on, cover with parchment paper or pressing cloth, iron firmly. 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, so 10 to 15 seconds, then we're gonna do it inside out. Wait 5 seconds and then peel. Okay, I can handle that. And I will just use that carrier sheet from the sign, and we'll use that as our big, you know, protective sheet. All right, so question for my avid readers, those of you that are readers, what, do you have any really fun books that you've been turned on to lately. Let me know down in the comments. I'm always looking for some good books. So, okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a minute to cut these out. I'm gonna separate the flowers and kind of put them where I want them. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to place this big one right here, and then I think I will have like maybe one like that, and maybe one over here, because I want to start building it up that way. All right, I'm gonna just lay this down. Okay, so we're just gonna iron this. Oh, they did say firmly. And I'll do all of the inside ironing all at one time, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna pull that up, and then I'm gonna check and see if these are laying down. Perfect, look at that. So I didn't really use a ton of pressure, and I definitely did not stay on there super long. Okay, we're gonna put that just like so. And then, oh, nope, sorry. We're gonna put this just like so, and then this wispy one over here. And then I think what I'm gonna do is save the majority of the ones that are left. Just save those for, you know, another day. Like I could put some, you know, kind of just coming out of wherever. But I can save these other ones. All right, so there's a ginormous purple one here, and there's like a little spot that it could be, quote, sitting on. I'll leave that there. And we'll just go in and get that. Okay. So that's what I will do with these others, is I have an idea for another place that I could use them. So I will just save these. All right, now I don't really know that this is warranted, but I'll just go over the inside really quickly. Okay. So there we go. And this bag will house like pens, highlighters. I just got a brand new Bible that's beautiful. So just everything needs a place. So we're gonna make a pretty place for all of that to go. All right, let me grab all of the things. All right, well, here is everything that we got accomplished today. I'm actually very pleased with how everything came out. Yes, I still have some homework, but that'll be okay. I think you get the gist. You didn't need to really see me do, you know, 10 of these and 12 of these, so that's okay. I'm very excited about having these answer that question for me all year. This one can work in both campuses, high school and college. So those are all a win-win all the way around. And I love how this just got elevated just using some vinyl that I already had in my stash, putting my monogram on it. And then we've got some wall decor to go with a few things I already have in place. Super easy. Most of this scrap vinyl for most of these. This was a little bit bigger sheet, but actually a lot of this was, very little vinyl that was needed. And then now a beautiful, literally a book bag. So I'm excited about this and I love how it came out. I think, this is just gorgeous. In fact, I think this is my favorite craft of the day. So you'll have to let me know what your favorite craft of the day is. If the schools are in session, what your favorite subject was, and are there any good books lately that you have read that I need to know about? Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Don't forget, like the video, hype it, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. So until I see you in the next card or craft, as always, have an amazing day and happy crafting. Hello, crafty friends. Thanks for making it to the end with me. I'm so glad you were here to share in the crafty fun. Here are a couple more videos that I think you might find inspiring. And don't forget to like, comment below, and subscribe. So until I see you in the next video, have a great day, and as always, happy crafting.